Welcome back. 1 year after the Basel market was ravaged by fire, our reporter traveled to CRR to see how things are going. Patrick Camara has more on that story.
The Basel market got destroyed by fire last year, but the government quickly swung into action in building it back. The project is now completed.
Yo marso ina kuwa yin kontan back abunya ta mabakele. Kad marso nya ni momo nya saje sala marso nya do ku kuntal. Del basen tundo mu melabe ngala tent bakele. Kule ya kom ko kun de bi ata kula ni marso eta bolankan. Kad dimbaye fofo ni mabi ni marso eta ba hosul. Tuma do julo do bi sa so na no konon. Yo marso nya te lafta ngina silanko bari na banda ya yele. Mole na do ko tamandi kada fele binna man to ko miyeti hani sal filo ni lafta kala foita eta dulate be dulari ni be sila daminto yo sangi sila da area fofo ni motol be na bo sol be na fen be na aman koy kati me tembo men de jambe ni wa folla kati watu skeno astan skeno asi mari mantora yo ntere kay ngine foko man sakunda e ko ba sa be tembo men do marso nya do kutala banta yakata marso nyi yele ad ngamo do la koy be marso nyi ba ajos la ni ajos wotu mo lembe dunna je yo sa ntel dunna ko le ko mi tembo men tan ngi sama kata ten mbukadula so do be kala dawdan nento mustote mbulo ko no marse tembulu be siri ngi slada minata man koy adun mari be tembo men to bi ni asdam keta wote karnola kati be silo le kan be dami jambe silo le kan dan sal filo na be nan ka batale yo hanim bi mbem badi mol be dan la de man sakunda dan la de fere kay marso yele ndel ba se tundo be entel ngi nekran la kayra bati kadna marso janda bar bi man to ko ko kundala en tankando mal kadna marso janda bar nada marso kuto so me yalla ko nyon tawna mat hani me ngasi ngi marso bi ay mo be kontaan wata mol bala bakale hantel kay bi be kontaan na kontaan alhamdulillah.
According to the Basel Area Council PRO, the construction of the market cost $100 million, funded by the central government, with $1,080,000 contributed by the council.
The market is being built by the central government. However, the Basel Area Council, that is the local government as well, we also paid our counterpart contribution. The cost of the construction of the market is about $100 million. So the counterpart payment that Basel Council did is $1,080,000. That is about 10% of the project cost.
Application for the stall is open to Gambians and non-Gambians. Only one person is allowed to apply from each family. One must prove a good tax record, a good business record, and also prove capability of handling a stall.
The process that we put in place, we have our terms and conditions, we have our criteria. It is open to both Gambians and non-Gambians. And every family, one person is entitled to apply. More than one person should not apply from a family, you understand, and you need to have a good track record of tax and rates payment. Likewise, other national due payments that a citizen should do. These are things that we consider during the application. And also you need to have a very good track of business record. You have to be we have to have that financial muscle in order for you to be able to fund your business by yourself. Yeah, these are some of the things that we're gonna use as a criteria for the applicants of the market. However, as I said, it's open to both Gambians and non-Gambians.
While the market is yet to be handed over, the PRO is worried. The stall can only accommodate less than 200 out of the 2,000 applicants. They are looking forward to solving the situation.
So the market, as you all know, right now we have not done anything like the allocation. We don't allocate the market yet. All that we did is we opened application for people to apply. Already almost 2,000 applicants. We've received 2,000 applicants across the country, ranging from URA towards the Greater Banjul area, because people are applying all over. Because there's a system that we put in place. In order for you to obtain an application form, you need to apply, you need to go to FI Bank to pay an application fee of $500. And that $500, if you are lucky to be able to have a shop, we are not going to refund you. But all those who are not lucky to have a sub, they are going to be $100 to $500 that they pay. So after paying that $500, you'll be given a deposit slip, which you will bring forward to the council for you to be given an application form. Then we're going to record. So obviously, right now the application forms are on the review, and after when the market is handed over to us, we are going to do our allocation and share them fairly. Sure, this is clear indication that Basse URR is a business center, and the population is more than the market, in the sense that we have about 2,000 people who applied, and the stores are only 185. This is because we haven't constraint of the market space is very small. This is why we are able to have the. But however, we have another reserve areas, around Basse. That is Aluma layout, where that is it's just like it's a layout. It's a residential area for URR and or any Gambian that has the chance to have a land there. We're going to have a market there, we're going to have a garage and many other things. So obviously that is going to help us to decongest this market, you understand, and also make the people to move to the other end, and this can help to grow the business and economic of this region.
The market consists of about 185 stalls, waiting sites for vegetable and fish vendors. It is yet to be handed over to the Basse Area Council. However, 90% of the work is gone. Therefore, it will soon be handed over to the council for distribution among the public. Fatu Kamara reported.
Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Tough.
Welcome back, viewers. Today I am joined by officials from the Lamin Keita's Hope non-profit organization as they embark on a new project to support people or children and families with spina bifida. I am joined today by the CEO and co-founder, Mrs. Fatu Job Keita. Welcome to the Fatu Network. And of course, Dr. John N. Jabang, Senior Consultant Neurosurgeon and Pediatric Neurosurgeon, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. Welcome to the Fatu Network, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
I would like to begin with you. Can you give us some background information about these illnesses that we are talking about?
Thank you so much, and we also want to thank the Fatu Network for having us today. So spina bifida and hydrocephalus are two neurologic conditions that happen to children, and obviously you can also see hydrocephalus in adults. So what's spina bifida? Basically, it's a birth defect. So children are born with a birth defect, and the abnormality actually happens at the level of the spine and usually the lower back. And how do we see it? We actually see children that are born and you see they have a kind of a bump, a swelling on the lower back. And usually when they have that swelling, that ranges from a mild form also to a severe form. Sometimes the swelling only contains fluid that we call cerebrospinal fluid. But sometimes it does not only contain fluid, and that's the bad part of it. Sometimes it contains neural tissues, nerves that are destroyed. And because of that, these children will now be born and they would not be able to walk, they would not be able to control their urine, they would not be able to control their stool. On the other hand is what we call hydrocephalus. So hydrocephalus also is a disorder of fluid in the head. We know that normally there is every human being in his head, in the brain, there is fluid, and that fluid is what we call the cerebrospinal fluid. And sometimes this fluid, there is a disorder in this fluid, and because of that, it's produced so much, and maybe it's not absorbed properly, or something else happened. No need to go into the details, but the result of that is a head that gets very big, and as the head gets bigger, then the brain tissue gets destroyed. Okay, and these are kids that if they are not managed early, then the end result wouldn't be what is good. So in a summary, I think these two conditions, this is what they are. Yeah.
So are these two conditions only applied to kids? What group of people are more susceptible to these illnesses?
So the kids, of course, much more, because it's a birth defect. So you would see it when the child gets born, especially the spina bifida. The hydrocephalus, some of the patients with spina bifida can have hydrocephalus associated. Some children can also develop hydrocephalus, not actually even related to spina bifida. But again, it's the kids that are in these two conditions, the kids are mostly implicated. Yeah.
Thank you. Now I will come to you. I know there are so many charities out there. There are so many organizations, but it's a whole different thing for a charity to say, look, we are going to take up whatever it is, whether it's treatment, consultation, or whatever it is that these people or this group of people are suffering from. Why was it important for this organization to come up with this?
First of all, thank you very much, Fatu Network, for inviting us here, and thank you so much for the time. It's very personal to us, the Keita family. Our son, our first child, was born with spinal bifida, and as a parent, we experienced the first burden, the demands, the trauma and the expenses, and everything about spinal bifida. He got spinal bifida, but then he developed hydrocephalus, like he said. So as a parent, when our child was diagnosed at 18 weeks, and then we said one day when we can, we have to create a foundation, a non-profit organization to support the families, especially back home, because the treatment is very expensive. And the surgeries are very vital. The earlier you get it, the better, to minimize the damage and to minimize the effects of the bad defects on them. So it's very personal, and as a parent, we know it's such a burden. Your child needs a surgery or needs something because of financial reason, you can't do it. So this organization basically is founded so that we can support the families, especially financial support to do the surgeries that are needed.
So this is something you truly understand, because you have to live through the situation to know what people suffering from the disease have to go through.
Yes.
How hard is it catering for children with spina bifida?
It is very hard because it's a lifelong bad defect. Once you get it, it's lifelong, but it's manageable. Like I said, like if they get their surgeries the time that they need it, especially the closing of the back, which should be done within 24 to 48 hours. To minimize the damage, so that they will have a chance of walking or a little chance of controlling their bowels or the urine. So in the Gambia, that's why it's very important that anything you can contribute towards our cause, you can donate to our organization. Because in the Gambia, most of the time, they don't know it until the baby is born. In Europe and in the US, we have the opportunity to give you the chance of knowing your child will be born with this bad defect, so you are prepared, and financially maybe you get help. But here, once the child comes and you need the surgeries or the help, the families can afford it, and most of them, like if they go, they won't come back, and it's such a burden. So it's good to have an organization like this. If the finances is available, once they come to the hospital, to Dr. Jabang, which we are blessed to have a neurosurgeon of our own, so the surgeries can be done.
Thank you very much. Dr. Jabang, when we talk about spina bifida and hydrocephalus, what are the statistics in the Gambia?
So right now, to say a figure may be very, very difficult, but I could tell you that in terms of surgeries in the Gambia, in the neurosurgery unit, where we do operations like, let's say, 4 cases every week, spina bifida and hydrocephalus would form, if not 2 of the 4. So to tell you that in terms of the Gambia, it's really very, very, very prevalent. In the neurosurgery unit, if you combine the 2 surgeries, spina bifida and hydrocephalus, it becomes the single most common surgery that we do in this neurosurgery unit. So it's common.
Right. So what has the organization done so far?
So far, we started operation in July of last year, 2020. And we, I think, operated for about 2 months or a month. Then the pandemic hit. But we were able to cater for 28 children at that moment. And according to him, probably he can speak better because it's his unit.
Yes, you can take over.
Yeah. So the organization, when it came, it changed the whole dynamics. We started because before then this was what happened. So and until now it's what happens. So kids come, they have spina bifida, and they need to be operated. We do a closure for them, and then the hydrocephalus come, and that's where the big problem is. The bigger problem is in terms of cost, I would say. Then they would need to do a CT scan that costs $2,000. They would need to buy a shunt, a material that we used to operate them that cost about $6,500. So all in all, you are talking about $8,000, if my mathematics is correct, right? $8,500. And that is difficult for so many families in the Gambia. So what we then see is that patients come, we operate them for the back, we close the back, we said, okay, you need to do a scan, and you don't see them again. And by the time you see them, the head is too big, the brain, a lot of part of it is destroyed. And because of that also, you are not operating the numbers. So when we started with the Lamin Keita Hope, and it was so simple and straightforward, we had an MOU with the hospital, we had an MOU with Stop Step. So once patients come and they are registered, we close the back. And once they are developing the head, we write for them, they quickly go do the scan that is paid for already, and then we operate them. And we realize within a period of 1 month, we have tripled the number of spina bifida and hydrocephalus that we operated. So their intervention really went a great deal. Unfortunately, like she said, COVID came and just got everything down. And having seen that booster, I would say, from the Lamin Keita Hope, it's something we really want to start. And that's why when they came from the US, come on holiday, we are like, okay, you know what, we got to work together, do some fundraising. So we're just telling everybody out there, if you can help support them, you will really doing great for kids in the Gambia.
This is a really worthy cause. What do you have to say, to families out there who are dealing with situations like this?
It's very demanding and it's very stressful, but these kids are blessing and continue to be strong. They can be anything that God said they will be. They are very smart, and especially with spina bifida, just don't restrict them. Don't treat them like they have disability. You restrict them. Yeah, they are different. No, they are the same as every other child. Just make sure you are careful. Tell them to be careful. But let them be a kid, and don't like they say, Ginela or Lenin Lanel. It's a bad defect, and it's a health condition. It's not Gine Moko Japa or something. So when you see these kids, please go. We have a number, I think, and then go to Edwards Francis Small Hospital. That's where the neurosurgical unit is, and they will tell you what to do. So don't keep them at home. Don't hide them. Don't say this is what. Go and see the doctors. And Lamin Keita's Hope will do whatever we can with the help of the community and everybody to get the funds available for them to get the surgeries that they need. Because once they get that, they can be as normal as they can be.
She mentioned something very important, and I would just want you to add to that, which is the stigmatization that comes with these kinds of illnesses. Usually when it happens, all of a sudden, they give like the instant diagnosis that, okay, this is something to do with some supernatural powers, like you say. What do you have to say as someone who specializes in things like this?
So especially when it comes to hydrocephalus, that's the big heads. And I'm sure different cultures have it differently. There are some cultures, once the kids are born, they have the head and the head is big. They say, like he said, it's from the genes, okay? And they would take him to the bush, and just leave him there. And of course, the wild animals will come and eat that child. And then they will come back and say, oh, he has returned back to the genes, okay? Some other people, once they stayed at home, and they don't go out, they don't do anything until they die. But then, that we are saying it's not. It's just some disorder in the fluid in the head. That's all these kids have. And because of that, the fluid is produced, it's not being reabsorbed well, so it's increasing the pressure. And because their heads are not closed like you and I as adults, all right, then it expands and gets big. So we are telling people, you should not discriminate against people with hydrocephalus. No, they have no single gene. They've just got an illness, and that's just the illness that is responsible to make their heads bigger. Early intervention, like Fatou said, early intervention will make them function as all other normal kids. Yeah, so that's basically what we will tell the people.
Is there any other thing you would like to tell the people out there, especially when it comes to the procedures they have to follow to make sure that, they get to the neurosurgeon?
Dr. Jabang, Fortunately, we have a neurosurgeon, and then he's only at Edward Francis Small Hospital. So if you have a child like that, you can just contact. We have a PRO, and hopefully we'll share our contact information. You can call, and there's a procedure there and a form that they're going to fill out to register with the organization. And the other thing that we are here for is to raise funds for the organization so we can get started again, because COVID has restricted our donations and contributions that we are receiving. So we have in the launching and a fundraising with Jaliba, August 7th. So please, whatever you can do, and you can always contribute. We have a website, www.laminketershope.com. We have a Facebook page. You can always donate. Your donation, you can always see the impact because we'll be sharing it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Jabang, what do you have to say to the people?
To the people again, to say to sponsor the Lamin Keter Hope. Anyone that is listening to us, if you are in a corporate and whatsoever you are doing as part of your corporate social responsibility, or you've got some funds, just look into the Lamin Keter Hope and just give them the support that they need. And to those that have this disease, we are asking them to come. Please come. The services are available in the Gambia. Don't waste time. Don't say, oh, I want to go abroad. And in that way, you waste so much time, then it becomes too late. Once you see your kid, just bring the kid to Banjul, and the kid should be sorted.
Thank you very much for coming through to the
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And now we will run our final story. A 32-year-old man from Bakau is currently suffering from pulmonary collapse, otherwise lung failure. He is now seeking support for medical treatment as his condition continues to deteriorate. More in this report by Usman Jata.
Medical reports of the 33-year-old young man reveals that he is suffering from pneumothorax, a collapse of one of the lungs, which normally occurs when air enters the pleural space, the area between the chest wall and the lung. Air in the pleural space can build up and press against the lung, causing it to collapse partially or entirely. The young man was admitted at the Kanifing General Hospital a few weeks ago, following several days of pain and frustration. After conducting a test on the patient, his doctors did everything they could, but they couldn't help overcome his condition. Realizing the seriousness of his situation, his doctors prepared a medical report recommending an overseas treatment.
Okay, right now his condition is his right lungs is totally collapsed. As the doctor says, a condition on the pneumothorax. So obviously when the lungs is down, that means he's breathing only with one lungs. And there are certain infections within the body also. So obviously right now, when we were released from Banjul, they said there was a fluid inside the system. And this fluid continues coming. He was fixed with a drainage pipe tube. A drainage tube was fixed on him. This drainage tube was with him for roughly 2 months. 2 good months. He is with that fluid. So they stopped it. It was little bit better, and then they removed the tube. But when he went back for an X-ray, X-ray tells us that still now there is a fluid in the system, which is not obviously promising. So the doctor said that that's where they can stop at their level, because they have done all the tests concerned about his issue, and then they cannot go anymore. They have no other thing that they can do than to write a medical report for us to go and look for overseas treatment.
The condition of this young man could be best described as severe, as he experiences constant chest pain and shortness of breath. He is currently at home as his family is not financially stable to fly him for an overseas treatment. As seconds, minutes, days and months pass by, his condition worsens, putting his life at risk. The elder brother of the young man is now seeking for financial assistance in order to end the severe pain and frustration his brother is going through.
Right now, he needs a support for his treatment. If we were financially strong, me and my family would have taken care of it. But the financial status is not that much. So that is why I'm urging the public, wheresoever you are, whatsoever you can do about his problem, I'm calling everybody to help me so that he can take his treatment as quick as possible. In Africell and QCell, my number Africell is 704-7059. The QCell is 330-1606.
Youth are tagged as the backbone of society because of the significant service they render toward the development of any nation. Now, this young man is part of the list of youth who are urgently in need of medical assistance. Osman Jata, TFN News.
That's it for today's show. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.